The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Thanks for joining us once again here on this wonderful weekend, right here out of the fourth largest city in the USA. That's Houston, Texas. As always, reminding you to go to stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. So you can see and hear all the shows, the show archives. You're going to want to see what's going on in the studio today as we have so many guests. So we're going to begin right now as we welcome Lynn Blair and Ashley Gabora. They are with Blair Realty Group. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us,
and
Bill.
Here, we're glad to have you. Kim Dawkins with Stewart Title brought you. She's developing business in a tremendous way because she brought you both here and some other members of your team.
Yes, Kim is the best. We love Kim.
So first of all, Lynn, let's tell people about your company, Blair Realty Group.
Of course. So we are actually a new brokerage. We will be 10 months old on the 10th of this month. We have grown drastically from, I believe when we opened doors, we had 10 agents, and now we're at 65. So we are, a baby real estate brokerage, but we're definitely not new to real estate.
Well, happy birthday and congratulations.
Thank you. Not only is it almost our 10th, it is almost my 40th. So there we go.
It's unbelievable. And also, I'll tell the viewers another reason to tune in to stewart.com/radio. I am wearing a Blair Realty Group t-shirt.
I love it. You look amazing.
This is my color, right?
It brings out your eyes, for sure.
Well, first of all, Lynn, you are the broker of the company, right? Mm-hmm. Let's tell people a little bit about that, and then we'll talk to Ashley.
Yeah, so I am the broker owner of Blair Realty Group. My husband also, alongside me, owns the brokerage as well. He is not the broker. I am the boss. So like I said, we are a new real estate brokerage, but we are not new to real estate. I have been in real estate as an agent for about 10 years now, so going on a decade. Before that, we were investors and decided, hey, why are we paying somebody else? Let's go ahead and start paying ourselves. So we got into real estate. He was with me at RE/MAX for about 4 years, and then decided, he wasn't very good at whining and dining clients. So I went ahead and took that side of it, and he kind of just, was there backing me up as that investor. We worked with RE/MAX for about 8 years, and they were nothing but amazing to us. We got to the point where it was, okay, we hit a ceiling, now what's next? And it was just that natural progression of, okay, I think it's time for us to own our own brokerage. And that's kind of where we went from there.
And it's growing every day. How many agents are on the team?
We are at 65 agents right now, and we are only growing. So we are, I believe a lot of that is the support that we have for our agents, whether they're newbies or they've been in this market or in this industry for 30 plus years. We have that support there, and a lot of that support comes from our mentor program, and that's where Ashley Gabora comes in.
And transition to Ashley. Hey, Ashley, how are you?
Good, Bill. How are you?
So let's tell people again, your role with the company is?
I am a mentor agent at Blair Realty Group. We have Gabora Realty Team's mentor program. So we have a 12-week training program for all of our agents, from the very foundation of real estate, getting them started on social media, marketing, to going over all the contracts. I'm primarily residential, so it's everything residential they ever want to know.
And also, with real estate, I see emails and things, NAR and TREC and all these things. There's a lot of changes almost every day. So I'm thinking, if I'm an active realtor, there's a lot of things I have to be on top of.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of part-time agents out there, which is great. That works out for a lot of people. But if you're not full-time, you're not always seeing all those changes that are coming down the pipe, laws that have new implications on contracts and stuff like that. So, we stay on top of all that. I love contracts. I live, eat, breathe contracts. So I like being able to dissect that with agents and go over it. I mean, I'm very active in all the classes. I like talking to real estate attorneys. And so I like to bring that knowledge to our agents at the office.
A real detailed person. I
Yes.
can see that.
Yes.
I think the coolest part about Ashley, though, is that, like you said, things change in real estate. And I think the best part is that we're not only attracting the brand new agents to the mentor program, but those that have been in it for 10, 20, even 30 years. We have someone that's been practicing real estate since the 80s and has just really, latched on to that program because, like you said, things are changing daily, and it's really neat. She keeps up with everything for me. If I have a question about, a mud or anything like that, I'm like, Ashley. And she's definitely there to help me out as well.
So then the team of the 65 or so agents, they have access and you're helping them every step of the way where they need it, when they need it.
Yes, exactly. I've gone on listing appointments with them. I've sat through buyer consults to writing contracts. I mean, as much hand-holding as an agent wants, they'll get it.
And Ashley, I'm picturing you right now with those beautiful glasses and your demeanor with a contract, and you'd be totally happy going over each and every detail.
I do. I
She's
love
usually
it.
wearing
you
her
see it?
yellow glasses or her blue glasses. So,
Yeah.
these are very classy.
Yes, I
right
got my
now.
Marvin Zindler glasses over there that are also my favorite.
Love it. Well, give us an idea, Lynn, as far as the marketplace right now. Is there an area of Houston, I guess 65 agents, you're all over the place, but in the meantime, is there an area you're focusing on? And then what is your overall view of the market as you see it now, as the year is ending? And then what are you looking ahead for next year?
Of course. So our office is in Cypress. So we're kind of on the outskirts of Houston right now. We actually are in Fairfield, which when we moved out to Fairfield 16 years ago, we called it Farfield. Well, now it's just an extension of Houston. So although our office is in Cypress, we've actually expanded. So we are currently going from 2,200 square feet to now 5,000 square feet. That expansion should be done, I'm going to say, in the next month or so. And then our next goal, that expansion was actually our 5-year goal. It actually took 10 months for us to expand. So our next goal would be to move on to the Bryan College Station area. We have a lot of multifamily home properties there, and so that's kind of our next natural progression. Not to say that's where we would stop. Hopefully Blair Realty Group does blow up a little bit like we are seeing right now, and we continue that growth and moving on into Katy, the Woodlands. All of our agents, they are not from Cypress. We do have them all over the Houston area, from the Heights to Conroe to Montgomery to
Pearland.
Magnolia, Pearland, Missouri City. So we do have agents all over. As far as the market, we're seeing that natural progression of the ebb and flow that we do see in real estate when we get to this point in quarter 4. That has to do with, school going into session. People are settled down now after the summer big boom. It stops there on a natural year. Right now, we're kind of seeing a little bit of a bigger halt because of those interest rates. We're now currently at a 20-year high with interest rates, and unfortunately, when I was talking to my preferred lender, I don't want to say there's not an end in sight, but I feel like this is going to be hurting buyers for just a little bit longer. We do have some extra outside of the box things that we're doing with some of our preferred lenders to help with those rates and buy downs. But again, we're just in that natural state of, okay, it's slowing down. About 30 days from now, people will say, let's wait till after the holidays. So it is a scary time in real estate, especially for new agents. But as seasoned agents, we do kind of prepare for that on that side.
And do you see, as we hope that cooler weather, we maybe have a little bit cooler here these last couple of days, but do you think the cooler weather ever helps? Like, let's say November, mid-November, does that, in past years, has that helped the business at all?
I don't know about the weather, but I will say, with open houses and stuff, it is nice to get out there on a nice day versus the 150 degrees that we've been seeing.
Those are really slow open houses typically.
Mm-hmm.
I would think so,
real
yeah.
hot days,
for
sure.
Maybe there'll be a rally this year. Well, give us an idea of some of the other things that you do in terms of, let's say, social media. I'm sure maybe each agent has their own thing, but as a company, how do you support the social media, and what are the things that you recommend for the agents?
Of course.
To make sure that they're on.
Of course. So if you follow us at Blair Realty Group on any of our social medias, you're going to find that we're quite different than a lot of the other real estate brokerage out there. We do offer a lot of serious advice. We do offer some home tours, but then we also offer some very interesting videos as well on social media.
Realistic day in the life.
A realistic day in the life of a real estate agent. So definitely follow us on Facebook.
So, well, let's tell people also, before we close the segment, let's tell people what else you want them to know. Ashley.
So every new agent that comes in here into Blair Realty Group, get me, my husband, Casey. We are essentially the mentor team, and we actually have teaching experience. My degree from U of H is in interdisciplinary studies, so I am a teacher at heart. I taught in public education for 11 years, and so real estate was a natural transition for me and my husband, but education was always the biggest aspect of it. And at my previous brokerage, I was a mentor agent for 2 years, so everything, the curriculum is all created by me, for them.
And let's tell people, Ashley, how they can reach you.
They can reach me at ashley@JaboraRealtyTeam.com. That's GEBORAREALTYTEAM.com.
And Lynn, before we close, what else you want people to know? And let's tell them how to reach you.
Yeah, of course. So I just want people to know that we are here for you. If you're a new agent, if you're a seasoned agent, we would love to meet with you, talk with you. We would love to help you grow your business. And I think that, if you are looking for a home, I know it's cliche, but we are a family at Blair Realty Group. We always end our sessions or begin our sessions with BRG family. You can reach me at lynn@blairrg.com.
And the phone number is?
The phone number is 806-777-6140, and the website is blairrg.com. 806-777-6140.
Lynn, thanks for being with us. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
We're so thankful to be here.
As we continue, Let's Talk Money, we have Natasha Livingston and Belinda Everett with Prosperity Bank. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Well, it's super awesome. Well, first of all, Natasha, you kind of put this segment together. So first of all, let's tell people your role at Prosperity Bank.
Well, thank you, Bill. I am excited to be here, especially in this capacity with Prosperity Bank of Texas. I am being a native Texas, it means a lot. I am working in the capacity, we have a new department, community outreach, and that is what I will strategize in bringing awareness to the community for Prosperity Bank.
And let's tell people a little bit about your background. You have so many credentials, but just highlight a few for us, please.
Well, I have been a realtor here in the state of Texas, licensed in 96, and I have worked in the real estate, finance, and mortgage and title for probably the last 20 years plus. I'm only 21, so
that's right.
We're going to leave it at that, 20 years plus here in the market area. Most recently, I was working in the Northeast for another title company, and so now I'm glad to be back here in the good old state of Texas.
Well, it's good to see you. And Belinda, it's great to see you. Let's tell people your role at Prosperity Bank.
Well, thank you, Bill. My role at Prosperity is to lead the outreach efforts for the bank footprint. And as we know, Prosperity is located in the state of Texas, and I'd like to say it is the one of the biggest banks in Texas, and we are also in Oklahoma. So we put together strategies with nonprofits, with churches, with organizations, our favorite real estate agents, to broaden Prosperity's footprint as it relates to home ownership. And we are strategically working to really bring people to the bank through mortgage and home ownership. Home ownership is the anchor product, and we want to expand the bank's footprint in that arena.
And give us an idea as far as the banks. I didn't think of the scope, but again, Prosperity is all over Texas, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Prosperity has grown from a small bank in El Campo to actually the largest regional bank in Texas. We've grown through acquisition. Our footprint here in the Houston area is the largest, I think a little over 60 branches.
65.
Yeah, and 65 branches. And then in Dallas, we have a huge footprint as well through acquisition. We recently acquired Legacy Bank in Dallas in 2018, and they have really helped us gain market share but also helped us really expand into mortgage in many arenas. Prosperity has been a lender and a commercial lender. In fact, Prosperity is the number one lender to farming and agriculture in the state of Texas.
I did not know that. How about that?
See?
Well, as we were talking about lending money, Natasha, we hear from realtors, all of us, as we read the news and things, the mortgage rates are the highest in 20 years, these sorts of things. And then, of course, we had a blip on the radar where they were like 2% or 3%, and everybody still wants that.
Yes.
Kind of not realistic. So as you are in the banking, the center of everything, what are the things that you're talking about relating to the interest rates?
So right now with the interest rates, of course, when I joined the industry many years ago, the interest rates were where they are now, and that was good, a good rate. So what we're focused on refinancing and making sure that homeowners that have current mortgages are able to sustain what they have. We also have a phenomenal one-time close program where we can do the one-time close as well as construction loans. And for those small builders and developers, we want to make sure that they're aware of those opportunities as well.
So when we think of the present state of the interest rates and banking and so forth, how are you planning? Because I know to grow like your company has grown, planning and discussing and strategizing, that word's already been used. I feel smarter already just when I use the word. But when we think about 2024, Belinda, what are some of the things that you're focusing on, especially in the beginning of the year, or anything you'd want to share for realtors to know as well?
Okay, Bill, I'm going to give you $100 after that for asking me that question because I've been waiting to share
I knew
this
you would bring
information.
samples.
Yes. Well, as you said, strategy is key, and it's really you don't just throw a dart at the wall and hope it hits a homeowner or a potential homeowner, but we're working directly with atypical organizations, for example, churches that have congregations in excess of 5,000 or 6,000 people. We're going to hit a realtor when we talk to those folks, potential homeowners. There's got to be a way that people get the information, and our program is built on 3 pillars: education, preserving home ownership, and investment in home ownership. And how we educate is working directly with institutions of higher education. Craig, who we know and love very well.
He's our friend.
Craig is our
That's
friend,
right.
our manager.
Craig Gentry.
He just received an invitation from the University of Houston downtown to let's explore the opportunity of developing a curriculum around home ownership. Because while we prepare children and students for their careers, are we truly preparing them for sustainable home ownership? And our belief is that home ownership is a journey. It's not a destination. So you get that first house when you're in school, and instead of paying the rent, get the condo, refinance it when you graduate. You meet the one, get that house, or you get the great job. And then after you decide to have a family, you're going to move to the great school district. And then after the kiddos are gone, we're going to be looking for that empty nester, let's have fun lifestyle. So that's a journey. And we want to be with you every step of that journey, showing you how you leverage home ownership. It's not, people are, well, I'm going to save up to be a homeowner one day. We want you to understand that that's a part of the life process, the life cycle. Different homes for different locations or different stages in your life. Preserving home ownership. People, well, who's going to invest or refinance after they just got a great rate? The last 10 years is artificial. 3% is not a real rate, but 6%, 7%, those are real sustainable rates. But the person that needs the refinance product is anybody who built their house before 1982. Now, the agencies, Fannie and Freddie, say aged housing stock is any home that was built before 1982. How many homes in Houston and how many communities in Houston does that apply to? So we have products that will allow people to do renovation loans that go around the limitations of the Texas cash out. Just do a pure renovation loan. Or the first-time home buyer that wants to be in their neighborhood and they don't have any homes that are available, but there's one down the street that needs some renovation and I can buy it. So those are the things that we'll be educating Houston on, and hopefully Texas,
yes,
because home ownership is a part of the journey.
As you were saying these things, Belinda, one of the things I'm thinking of, I guess there are statistics. If the key is to be a homeowner, and that is a good idea, I think when you're in your 20s to learn just from a lot of reasons, financial and so forth. But I wonder how many people aren't homeowners that could be. How do we know that? And especially for realtors, because realtors, a lot of them will be on the show, and in practice, they'll say, hey, I work with a lot of first-time homeowners. Mm-hmm. How do we find those people and let them know, listen, you're paying this much rent, you could have a home?
Well, realtors, and here's the other 50 for that question.
I'm racking it up.
Yes.
Here we go.
There's stats all over the place. Do you know that in Houston, in the demographics of Houston, around 69% of white population are homeowners. 58% of Asian population are homeowners. 50% of Hispanics are homeowners. But 31% of African Americans are homeowners. And through my research and projects and products that I've run and worked with the agencies on, one of the things that we have blown the myth apart is that minority business means small loan amounts, low to moderate income, because remember, they want us to focus on making sure home is affordable for everyone. But when you overlook the middle, upper middle, and affluent minority communities, they don't have the same access that the LMI borrower, who probably needs a little work, saving money, getting job stability. So what we do is we reach everybody. We reach out and give the opportunity for those three pillars: education, preservation, and investment, so that we are making sure every Houstonian, every Texan has access to the American dream.
So give us an idea, Natasha, if someone with all the locations and the Prosperity is well known in all your locations, to not just Houston, but Texas, what's the process as far as contacting someone for a loan at Prosperity?
Well, they can either reach out to us. We're, as Belinda just mentioned, just to reiterate, we're here to make our presence known in the community with our local real estate agents and brokers, and we're just wanting to deepen that relationship and show Prosperity's commitment. And they can reach out to, like I said, either us, or we have loan officers throughout the city, throughout Texas, that also work specifically, some with builders and others with first-time home buyers, realtors throughout. We also do trainings for realtors. Some realtors that may want or need training on how to work with first-time home buyers and what particular programs there are, or even just credit readiness and things of that nature. We can even do market updates, but we're here to be a resource, so they can reach out to us, or we have local loan officers as well.
So when you talk about training, are you saying that you and or someone from your team goes to a realtor's meeting and talks about these things?
Absolutely.
And would that be you?
Yes, that would be
How about
myself.
that?
Yes, myself.
And you know
and
what?
Belinda can come in and she can share some numbers and share and make sure that we're doing everything the way we're supposed to.
And you know what? If they had you and Belinda at a meeting, they would be in for a treat.
They would.
Because this short segment doesn't even begin to show your magnificence, and I've known you for many years,
Yes.
and your communication prowess. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
All they have to do is have you out there for training.
Yes. And so is that our invite back? or maybe to Blair?
And for the realtors that are listening, because
Absolutely.
as you know, there's a ton of realtors around, a lot of brokerages,
Yes.
and I think it would be a good thing.
Well,
Some good info.
That's what we're here for. We're committed to giving back and being a resource to our local agents all over Texas. And however we can help, we are here to partner.
And before we close the segment, Belinda, what else should people know?
People should know that we are taking a holistic approach, meaning we're going to approach each consumer with a team. A real estate expert, some like the ladies that I'm looking at right here, a lending expert, and an advocate such as Natasha or myself, so that you are not just in a class getting a data dump. You're going to have someone with you every step of the way. Mm-hmm. My trademark is we are with you from class to keys.
Class to keys. That's the first time I heard that.
Yes.
How can people reach you, Belinda?
I can be reached at belinda.everett@prosperitybankusa.com. My cell phone is 832-444-7043.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows Prosperity is here. Prosperity is here, and they are committed to what we call a community banking philosophy. And I think we need to make sure that more people know about it. And so, and if so, I can be reached if anyone has any questions. My number direct is 281-250-6862. And my email address, it is long, natasha.livingston@prosperitybankusa.com.
There's a little town north of Houston called Livingston. You have anything to do with that, Natasha?
You know, I
that
wish.
lake, huh?
But I
Lake
don't.
Natasha?
That lake is beautiful. I love Lake
Natasha.
Livingston.
Yeah.
They should change the name.
That's what I was thinking. The phone number again is?
It's 281-250-6862.
Let's go to Lake Natasha. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure.
It's time now to talk to Jared Jenkins. He is with Kruger Real Estate. Hey, Jared, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad that you're here. Let's tell people, first of all, Kruger Real Estate. Give us an idea about your company.
So Kruger Real Estate is a boutique brokerage located here in Houston that offers personalized experiences not only for all of our clients, but also for the agents as well.
And as far as, let's talk geographically a little bit about when you are helping buyers and sellers, you probably cover all of Houston, but let's say last 20 transactions. Have you been in one area more than others, let's say?
Yes, sir. So we do a bulk of our business inside the 610 loop. We do about 500 transactions a year, and that's where the bulk of our business comes from. But we do not stop there. We'll go as far north, south, east, or west as it takes to get you into the perfect opportunity.
Let's give people an idea. You could be doing a lot of things, a young man like yourself with all these talents. What was it about real estate that drew you into the fold?
I would just say I'm a people person, so the opportunity to constantly get in front of new people, meet new people, and eventually give them an opportunity to purchase their dream home and make what a lot of times is people's biggest purchase in their life. Being able to help walk somebody through that process start to finish is a very rewarding thing and something that I take very seriously.
And as far as right now, when you're out there in the marketplace, helping, again, buyers and sellers, what are you finding right now in terms of activities? Medium, slow?
So thankfully, we are in a location that consistently stays pretty hot. Obviously, there's so much information that gets passed around with the right time to buy, the wrong time to buy. Sellers obviously always think it's a seller's market. Buyers always think it's a buyer's market. And then there's the reality of what it is. And, probably the biggest thing right now that people speak of in the industry is the interest rates. And I just always try to tell people there's definitely pros and cons. So if you look over the last 50 years, the rates that we're at currently today are not uncommon at all. Everybody compares it to the 2.9, 3.0 that we had for a very short time. What I always tell people is you missed out then, don't miss out now. And that there's some rewards to purchasing now that those people that purchased back then don't get. Back when the rates were 2.93%, we had people getting 15, 20, 25 offers on a property. The next day they stick the sign in the yard. We have properties selling for 80 to 100,000 over what their value is, waiving appraisal rights, no option periods, skipping out on inspections. So the great thing about buying now is that you've got an opportunity where there's not going to be crazy amounts of competition. So you can do your due diligence. Make sure that the purchase you're making is a great opportunity for you. Get a full option period, do a thorough inspection, have some ability to negotiate things as long as it makes sense and there's a need for it, and ultimately just get yourself a great opportunity and make a great purchase or sell and get the best opportunity there as well.
And at this point in time, are you helping more buyers or sellers, or is it even Steven?
I would say I definitely help a little bit more on the buyer side. There's something that's just a little bit more rewarding about helping for example, like you mentioned, a first-time home buyer, being able to help somebody make what is possibly or more than likely the biggest purchase of their life, like seeing people that maybe went through other opportunities with other agents that weren't able to find a home, getting them that milestone and that what is such a huge goal for a lot of people, helping aid them in that, I feel like is super rewarding.
And as far as when you use social media, what kind of things do you like and find most effective? Certainly there's YouTube, where realtors have YouTube channels, Facebook. What do you use?
I do primarily Instagram and Facebook. The great thing about social media is it gives you an opportunity and a platform to get in front of people that you may not cross paths with. So it's great to spread information, to connect with people that, again, you might not come across, and just really have a presence and an ability to connect with people that need your help and that may be able to benefit from your services, and to just help people gain more information.
As far as when you look at 2024, at Kruger Real Estate, you probably get together, have meetings, and when you strategize and say, hey, here comes 2024, what are some of the things that you guys are talking about over there?
You know, it's a difficult question to answer because we are in an industry that is consistently always changing. But what we do know is that many people that purchased 20, 30 years ago are not regretting purchasing at this time. So there's always great opportunities out there. It's just about making sure that you stay educated. Something that's very important is that we are partnered with in one of the best Zillow teams in the nation. And so we have standards that have to be met as far as consistent trainings and be skilled to a certain degree with certain metrics that they check on to ensure that we are absolutely at the top of our game. And we understand that when we assist one of their clients, we are getting them into a situation and an opportunity that financially makes sense and is exactly what they're wanting to get into.
So give us an idea. What does that mean as far as a Zillow association that you have? Because that's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up, because if I look at a property, or if I just want to find out, and I do this often, I'll look at, say, Pennsylvania. I'll pick a city and I'll start looking. I'll maybe go to my hometown and see what's going on real estate, or even Montana, California, and those things. And it's interesting. Zillow always comes up in the city. So how does that work with your connection to Zillow? And sounds like it could be an advantage for, especially for you, the real estate agent.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for coming up on 5 years now, and the opportunities that I've gained with having that platform took my business to levels that I didn't expect to make. I was in my mid-20s when I got in the industry, and I am super, super thankful and grateful to be in the situation that I am now and just have the opportunity to get in front of people, because I always compare everything to sports because I love sports a lot. And so it's almost like it doesn't matter how good of a home run hitter you are, whether you're Barry Bonds, Aaron Judge, if you don't have at-bats, you can't hit home runs. And that's what I really struggled with early in my career, is not being able to get in front of people. And this has given me a great solution to where if I'm willing to put in the effort and the work, the opportunity is there. So I was super thankful for that, and that being something that they provided. As far as how it works on the back end, it gives us the ability to connect with people from, I do tons of business with people relocating from California, people relocating from New York that maybe sell a property that, because everybody knows 50 real estate agents. I think it's pretty well known in the industry. So every time somebody tells me they got their license, I'm like, oh, great. I'm kidding. But it gives us the ability to connect with people that may not know the area or the market here as well. And they just have that source of knowledge and expertise to guide them through and make sure that they make a good purchase.
Well, that's a good point. There are a lot of real estate professionals. However, each one is different, and you're using different techniques and also connecting with people. So that's a good point. Other than working with Zillow and your attributes, what are some of the things that you think about in terms of differentiating yourself in the marketplace to stand out, better yet?
I would just say that there's always going to be opportunity. It's just about finding out how to kind of structure things. Or, as far as like back to the interest rate point, because that is such a big topic right now. Like, oh, do I wait till next year? I keep seeing articles that the market's going to trash. Well, they said that last year too, and now here we are, market still hasn't collapsed. And so I always tell people it's just about finding what works for you, what the client's primary need is. Because with interest rates, there's different programs that we can get down payment assistance. We can get sellers concessions to do a 3-2-1 buy down. And there's so many different opportunities to overcome those obstacles. That way, if they ask, hey, I think the rates are going to go down. Awesome. Let's get you this great program set up to where if we find that perfect dream home, we don't miss out on that. And then if the rates do go back down, great, we can refinance. But let's make sure that we capitalize. Once we find that perfect home, let's find a way that we get you in there. And I always tell people, you date the rate and you marry the house. So if you find the one, take that sucker to the altar.
Before we close the segment, Jared, we're talking with Jared Jenkins with Kruger Real Estate.
I would just say that, if there's anything that I can provide to you as far as knowledge or opportunity just to please reach out to me and let's connect. And Houston is a phenomenal place to be. I'm so thankful and happy to be here. And, if you need anything, just let me know.
Are you from Houston?
Born and raised just north of Austin by Round Rock.
How about that? And you found, of all the Texas cities, why did you choose Houston?
I actually relocated here for work. I was a general manager at LA Fitness before, and so they relocated me for a new club here in Houston, and I got here 10 years ago, and I've loved it ever since, and I don't plan on going anywhere else.
Quick word, how can I get muscles like yours? Now, another reason to tune into Stewart.com/radio. Your arms are.
We may need a little bit more time on that question.
One quick word. Exercise, right?
Exercise. We'll go with that one.
Jared, how can people reach you? What's your phone number?
My phone number is 361-554-2481. Again, that's 361-554-2481. Or my email address is Jarrod, Jarrod, L. Jenkins, Jenkins, @gmail.com.
Thank you so much, Jared.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risk facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risk. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. Hey, John.
Hi, Bill.
Here we are once again. What a cast, huh?
Fantastic show as always.
Well, and always full of surprises. That's what I love. It keeps me interested, and I think the listeners too.
Absolutely. There's always something to learn at every show, and that's why it's, we've been around for 495 editions because of that.
And getting close to show number 500.
Getting close, yes.
Really something. So people await every week. They love all the appetizers to the show, but the main course sometimes for insurance geeks is insurance. So here we are.
So last week we talked about growth, and this week I'd like to talk about savings. Quite a few times already this year we've talked about the rate increases that we've seen in insurance premiums, both on personal and business insurance. And as I've mentioned in most of the classes that I teach now, there's usually some time set aside where we'll have discussions about the rate increases and why we've seen increases in premiums. But there are some ways to save, specifically on your personal insurance, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, would be some ways that our listeners, both the realtors, can share with their clients or for themselves or our listeners, just on ways that you can look to save on your personal insurance.
Well, I know maybe your step one is different than mine, but I know step one is to call Stewart Insurance, which I've already done and taken care of.
Well, that is the step one. That is the step one, but let's back up for a little bit from that. The first thing that you can do is take a look and place your home and your auto insurance with the same insurance company. Insurance companies see clients that are willing to place both policies with them as more desirable clients. And because you're a more desirable client and that they have both of your pieces of business, they're willing to look at reducing the premiums on both the home and the auto. And we've seen we've always seen significant savings when people will place their home and auto with the same insurance company. But because the premiums have increased so much recently, we're really seeing some significant savings. We had a client in League City, Texas, which is just southeast of Houston, and they had their home and auto with us, but they were with two different companies. And we combined them with one company, and we're able to save them $800. We have a client in Royce City, which is just northwest of Dallas, and we're able to save them a little over $1,400 combining their home and auto together. So that's really a nice way to look at it. If people are in the process of buying a home, we know that saving money is critical at that point, that they want to make sure that they're saving as much money as possible. And one way to do that would be at that point when they're either having their first home insurance policy or they're looking to change potentially because of a new home, of combining the two. Sometimes we'll hear our clients will say, we just need to get the home right now so we can close on the loan. And you do have a 90-day period after you close on the home that if you combine the home and auto with the same company within that 90-day period, you can benefit from those savings. You're just not going to see the savings until the combination takes place.
Well, there's a lot of ways to look at it. And I will say, as I said, Stewart Insurance saved me on my home about, depending, I got even higher quotes, but on the one quote that was a little bit lower, I went ahead and saved another $700 on home insurance and maybe $100 or so on my auto.
But that's a nice $800 combination.
I need the money in that way. Absolutely. I'm going to put it towards other things.
Well, and the
maybe more cameras. I don't know.
I think we need more cameras. I think the other way that you can take a look at it from a savings perspective is what's called an IntelliDrive programs. And a lot of the insurance companies are offering this. And what that does is there's either an attachment to your car or there's an app that you can have on your phone. And it looks at two things. It looks at your stop and starting, and it looks at when you drive. So the stop and starting is going to tell how aggressive you are as a driver. And then the time you drive can potentially show some red flags. If you're continually driving a lot at 2 a.m. and you're not a commercial driver, there could be some issues there. If you're willing to work with the insurance company on that IntelliDrive program, we've seen savings up to 30% on the auto. So there's another tool that's available out there to allow you to save some money. And I think the third way to do it would be to work with a company like Stewart Insurance. It's an independent real estate brokerage. So we have access to a variety of companies. So not only can we help you determine what's the best type of coverage to have, but we can work with a variety of companies to see when we combine the home and auto, what ends up being the best coverage for you and the best value for you.
You know, we already mentioned Lake Livingston on this show, and I was thinking, I was driving back from Buc-ee's out there west of Katy. There's a big, I don't know if it's Bass Pro Shop, but they're lined up with, I don't know, maybe 50 boats. So the first thing I'm thinking is, who's buying all these boats? I guess, you know, they're not stocking them for fun. And then Stewart Insurance for boat and watercraft. I mean, you can help people with their boats and things like that.
Absolutely. So we work with clients on a full array of personal insurance, so home, wind, auto, flood, boats, watercraft, investment property. And then on the business insurance side, you know, our goal is to be the insurance resource for real estate. So we work with real estate brokers, realtors, property management firms, and lenders on their business insurance. So errors and omissions, cyber liability, general liability, workers' compensation, business owners' policies.
It wasn't that long ago we had a real estate broker on the show that was concerned with all the changes and with her growing team or their growing team, that they said, hey, we have to make sure that we don't get into trouble. There's someone that really needs to be covered by Stewart Insurance with one of the policies.
Well, absolutely. It's, as was mentioned earlier, it's important that you stay aware, be aware of what's happening in the marketplace and what's changing. And as you know, as a family, you add family members, or you're changing locations, or you're downsizing, or you're adding pets, or you're adding on to your home, or you've added investment properties. Those all can potentially change your insurance setup and what the coverage ought to be. And the same with a real estate broker. So if you're adding agents and you're looking at new locations, or you're adding new services, that all can affect your insurance coverage depending upon the types of plans that you have. So having a conversation with an insurance advisor can truly help to make sure that you are properly insured.
So you're helping brokers, say, with a team maybe of 10 agents, and you go beyond 100 and plus, right?
Absolutely, and we have a specialty with 65 agents.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, there might be a broker in this room.
There might be a broker in this room that has,
She's
especially when they're going
from
from
T-shirt business.
Yes, going from 2,200 square feet to 5,000 square feet.
It all matters. So there's the opportunity to make sure that, again, whether you're just an individual with home and things like that, or a real estate broker, the key is, in every respect, is to be properly insured.
Absolutely, and all that really means is that you're comfortable with the coverage that you have. So when you think about insurance, think about it in terms of risk. How much risk do I want to take on as an individual or as an organization, and how much risk do I want to place on the insurance company? And as long as you're comfortable with how much risk you're taking on yourself or as an organization and how much you're placing on the insurance company, in our world, you're properly insured, because that way you understand what you are and are not covered for. I guess the last thing would be, I would like to reemphasize a little bit about what we talked about last week, that we are growing. And we're looking for some additional insurance advisors to help on the team. So if you truly focus on the best interest of your clients, and you truly like working with clients and having those conversations and education and truly being an advisor for the client, whether it be on the personal line side or the commercial line side. We would love to have a conversation with you. And if you want to be properly insured, we would love to have a conversation with you. And you can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us at Stewart Insurance at stewart.com, or you can always, the web address is stewartinsurance.com.
And I'm thinking that, of course, at this time of year, I love it when it's time to evaluate, assess where we're at as individuals, as companies. I'm thinking if I'm out there and I'm an insurance agent that's with what's the word for the one-person company? Captive company. I might be thinking of broadening horizons and talking to someone at Stewart Insurance about perhaps having access to more than just one company, insurance company.
Well, we're seeing a lot of changes within the marketplace, and there are a lot of companies that are saying either I don't have an appetite for a specific type of coverage anymore, or I don't have an appetite for that coverage in a specific part of the city, for example, or for a state. But if you're in a captive agent, that truly does limit your availability or your ability to help clients with, being part of an independent agency that's part of the Stewart family. So we have that strong brand, and we have access to a variety of companies so that we can make sure, and if you are part of our team, you can make sure that your clients are properly insured.
And it's because of that is how I saved money. Sonia helped me go from one company to another, and thus the savings. So
well, and when mine was coming up, Sonia did the same thing for me, and we were looking around, and in my instance, it was better to stay where I was. But again, we have that ability to shop around and see what makes the most sense for our clients.
Sounds good to me. Again, the phone number is
866-798-2827.
Gentleman John Bramlett. Thank you, John.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
Well, here we are as we're winding things up. Lynn Blair is here. Also, Ashley Jabora. Ladies, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Say that one more time.
Yeah.
See, now that is a good thing because as we get to the end of the show, we want to keep people interested and excited. So let's remind people again, Blair Realty Group.
Yes, Lynn Blair with Blair Realty Group, broker owner.
Ashley Jabora with Blair Realty Group, mentor agent.
So here we go. Isn't it exciting? What's going to happen next with Blair Realty Group?
We are...
Because I think you're thinking all the time. I know you just for 15 minutes right now.
I don't sleep. That's my problem.
That is
I do
true.
not sleep. So I am always thinking of what's next. And it's not to say that I'm not happy with where we are. I just know the potential we have as a brokerage, as an education team, as rule the world would be next. But I think we'll take it to our expansion and then just go from there.
That sounds pretty good. What about you, Ashley? What do you think?
There's a lot of things happening at BRG. It's exploding. Business has rapidly grown more than I've seen other brokerages grow. And we're a boutique brokerage. So we just have so much going on that I think differentiates us from other brokers on the market.
And there you are. As far as the 65 agents, that's keeping you busy with all that detail work, right?
Yes.
Well, let's tell people once again, Ashley, how they can reach you.
They can reach me at 281-435-1068 or ashley@jaborarealtyteam.com.
I can be reached at lynn@blairrg.com or at 806-777-6140. The number is 806-777-6140.
And then you're going to go
Recom
on
Tech.
Go on to rule the world. We'll be watching.
That is my next step.
Come back and see us again sometimes.
For sure.
Thanks for being with us. And Natasha Livingston and Belinda are now back with Prosperity Bank.
Right, Bill. Thanks for having us. We're here.
So, Prosperity, it's so exciting because you know what? There's a lot of things that make the world go around. Some people say it's love. Some people say it's other things. But you know what, Belinda? I think money has a lot to do with how this world goes around. And you're in the heart of it all.
Yes, we are in the home business. We want you to be home. Home is, when you think about home, you think about a place that's safe. You think about a place that you can build from. And we are in the business of providing homes. And when you think about homes, security, safe homes, think about Prosperity because we're in the home making business.
And one of the great things, too, we're in the part of the year where we assess where we're at as individuals. Maybe we want to buy another home. Maybe we're the first-time buyer, and we're going to talk to Prosperity Bank about getting that loan. But there's so many the home, insurance, all these things go to our personal, we'll call it portfolio. So if you're 20 years old and you have $100 in the bank or $1 million, as you grow older, you want to watch those financial things, because each thing, and taxes, of course, have a role in our personal wealth. And the sooner we know that and practice the right things and shave the right things, I'm sounding like a financial expert. Do not listen to me for finance, but those things make sense, right, Belinda?
You have a point.
Yes.
I mean, but when you think about the things that you can invest in, the things that you can acquire in this world, I challenge anyone here to tell me that home ownership has anything comparable in terms of growth and opportunity. To own your own home means to invest in your future. And the return on that investment is great, particularly in Houston. I'm sure our real estate partners here say, yes, buy now, because guess what? Next year, this time, that house may cost you $50,000
Right.
more.
You forgot about the interest rate
Yes.
that you paid,
Right.
because you still have a profit
I
coming
say
in.
divorce the apartment, date the rate, and marry the house.
Yes.
All right, there's so many versions of that. I can't wait to see what Natasha says. Now,
So, as Belinda just said, make sure you think of prosperity when you think of getting your new home. If it's your second home or even an investment property, we're here. And I want to emphasize that we are here as your partner and a valued resource. And we are here to let the community know that Prosperity is here to service your not only banking needs, but also your mortgage needs. And any questions that you may have, we are here to assist you.
and can we say hello to Craig?
Hi,
Craig.
I know he's listening.
Yes,
I have a
yes,
feeling.
yes.
Just saying. Okay, let's tell people how to reach you, Natasha.
So I can be reached at 281-250-6862. Again, that number is 281-250-6862, or the long email, natasha.livingston@prosperitybankusa.com.
Thank you, ladies, for being with us. He's back. Jared Jenkins. Hey, Jared, welcome back.
What is going on, man?
All right, here's one thing I'm going to ask you. You mentioned about physical fitness, or I mentioned it. And the thing is, to be successful, like all of us in this room and those listening, there's a mind-body connection. Would you say that? Because here you are, a successful realtor, but also you're staying in shape. Let's tell people how you look at that mind-body connection to be successful.
I would just say that it starts with setting goals and having accountability. So there's one thing that bodybuilding taught me, is that it's if you set goals and you stay committed to them, that you're going to achieve the result in the long run. So I would just say that those two go hand in hand, starting the day off with something productive, giving your body that endorphin spike, that feeling of accomplishment. It transfers into me being more efficient in the workplace and making sure that I have not only the energy and the health and the ability to take care of my clients, but also just gives me that path for success that I strive for.
You know, I've never been to your house, Jared, but I'm guessing in the morning there's some kind of blender that's running. I don't know.
You would be correct.
I would be correct.
Yeah,
Bing.
you would. I can tell you exactly what goes in it, too.
Tell us.
12 ounces of pasteurized liquid egg whites, a cup and a half dry oatmeal, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, and 1 scoop of whey protein isolate every morning. 361-554-2481. Again, that is 361-554-2481. And then email address is jarrodljnkins@gmail.com. And last name before I let you guys go, seriously, those people out there that you may not think buying now is an opportunity for you, you would be so surprised how many different opportunities and programs there are for people that I've worked with recently in the past that have been able to purchase a home. So if you have any questions, you may be surprised what you can qualify for. Let's go.
Jared Jenkins. Thank you, Jared, for being with us, and thank you all for listening to our show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett. All of us at Stewart Title, Stewart Insurance, our business development people are tremendous. We have Kim Dawkins here, Juliana Bareford. They brought the cast together here today. Thanks again for listening. And again, go to stewart.com/radio. That's right, you can see the show archives. Tell others. We'll see you then.